AMD was another company with some top announcements from Computex 2025. Three big new products. First, the 9060 XT. It's available 8 and 16 gigabyte configurations. And shots were definitely fired across the bow at NVIDIA with the pricing on these. Check this out. Travel expenses for Computex paid for by MSI. At the MSI booth, I got to check out NVIDIA DGX Spark. This is MSI and NVIDIA's partnership. This tiny little thing with 128 gigabytes of memory, dual QSFP slots, 40 gigabit USB 4. I can't wait to take a look at this, get this in the lab. I want to build a 3-node cluster with these. But this is pre-production hardware. It's not final, but it is pretty exciting to be able to hold it in my hand. Thanks, MSI. Let's take a look at what's going on in Computex 2025. There's a lot of details in the AMD press event, but this is some seriously aggressive pricing. The 9060 XT has 32 compute units, 32 ray tracing accelerators, 64 AI accelerators, 821 TOPS, 3.13 boost clock, and 150 to 182 watts total board power. And the performance on the 9060 XT that AMD has shared is really strong. Now, both of these cards have the same clocks and performance characteristics. The only difference is the pricing, about $50 US, at least for the MSRP, and the RAM, the VRAM, 8 versus 16 gigabytes. Now this could further shake things up and disrupt things if AMD nails it with these cards, because if you picked up a 9070 or a 9070 XT, what have your experiences been? Like, the AMD drivers this generation seem like they're the best GPU drivers you can get. I mean, especially with all the driver problems that NVIDIA has had for the 5000 series cards, or the 5000 series drivers creating problems for older GPUs, like the 3000 and 4000 series GPUs. So the shoe's on the other foot with this generation. It's so wild. AMD also announced Threadripper 9000, Threadripper 9000 and 9000 Pro. So HEDT is still around, still going to be able to run that. It's going to drop in with TRX 50. It's a 32, 64, or 96 cores. Configurations is what they shared with us. You know, that's up to 128 PCIe lanes, and it's coming fast, July 2025. The WX, those are the Pro CPUs. Those are available down all the way to 12 cores. And then 24, 32, and 64 cores for TRX 50. And this is going to drop into existing motherboards, but AMD did say that they expect to see board partners announcing new boards for both of these CPUs, so look for that. And finally, AMD announced the Radeon AI Pro R9700. So this is 9000 series graphics, but with double the VRAM. 32 gigabytes of VRAM to be able to run large language models. And AMD is planning driver enablement to let you run 4 of these in a system. So you could run models up to 128 gigabytes with this GPU. So that's going to be interesting, I think. AMD also announced software updates, and I got to talk with some of the people behind the scenes with ROCm. And so I wasn't expecting it, but I had a chance to actually sit down and talk ROCm and the ROC in a GitHub repository and what the roadmap looks like for ROCm with RDNA. This is being able to run AI stuff on your GPU. And on the show floor, I saw ROCm GPUs running AI inferencing and YOLO and other things like that. So I wanted to sit down with Andre from AMD and have a chat.
What we are working on right now is the next steps. I was talking about that today, but currently within Fedora we have ROCm in there. OpenSUSE now has it as a delivery, and we're working with Red Hat to put it on Apple. So it's not going to be in the box with Red Hat. It's not their principle, but you will be able to clearly download it from the enterprise support. And the next step is Ubuntu. And that step is really truly in box, because all these notebooks, they actually draw their distribution for Ubuntu. So that's the next step, and I think that's going to be the point when it's going to be truly kind of out of the box and easy to use for any Linux developer. As I told you, the way I look at it, the ROC is the bleeding edge. We put there everything. We run the CI. It's available for any developer out there to very, very quickly go contribute. We are pulling things, contributing in our stuff. But we are contributing from all our development streams, kind of Radeon stream, MI stream. It's all coming there as kind of really kind of welcoming developers with open hand. There is a next level, coming a little bit later, the regular ROCm release. Regular ROCm release gets into qualification of everything related to ROCm, but it is admittedly focus still on the MI series, because that's the primary development target for the large development team ROCm. And then there is a second level on that, or third level if you start from the ROC, which would be the Radeon releases. So the Radeon releases are then tuned for Radeon, optimized for Radeon. They have some additional fixes that we didn't put into MI products because we were not ready to do it. And that's how the Linux world happens. And then the next step is putting all of that on Windows. And it's very important for us because in the client products, in reality is there is a very strong Linux community, but there is just the everyday Windows community, and they don't understand the principle of, I need to download the driver, that I need to download the driver, that they don't, but build a system for my notebook. Now, God forbid, that doesn't happen. So the goal there is putting ROCm inside the Windows driver. And we are actually piloting that to do I don't know if I had a chance to show it, but it's the PyTorch running on Windows right now, running Confi on the top of it. So that's currently running, but we are ready to release it within few months. One of our key architects, Ben Sander, told me, no, it really works because I have this work notebook and it's Windows. And if I want to prototype something quickly, I actually don't have time to reboot on the Linux. I just jump into WSL and it works. So I see it that way. I see it as a bridge for a Linux developer to quickly develop something. I see it as another thing. And again, that's unbelievable that actually exists these days. I think Windows release, this is coming, second half of the year, Windows release with focus on PyTorch, let's say, suddenly enables a large population to start using that. So that's a huge difference. Then Windows with the Onyx execution provider also enables a large population to pick the models that are trained somewhere. So the fact that our competition, let's call it that way, doesn't support it is because they are actually not present in these devices, in standard devices. They are in a high-end gaming devices, and our Strix Halo Ryzen Max, right? Okay, it's competing with that right now. So we have a horse in that race as well. But the reality is that they don't really need with this kind of AI type framework to really support Windows because their devices are not there. I'm really very much excited about this, and we spoke about that, about moving the work that is traditional Linux, moving it to Windows. I think we are the first one to do it right. We are first ones to do it with an interface that, so we talked about Onyx, we talked about VLLM, but even as the subsystem, as ROCm, is something that is easily transportable from a competition. So that's a huge benefit. So I think these devices deserve to be served for everybody with the AI applications. And as much as me, including many developers, love Linux as the open system, as everything, you have to recognize that most of the office workers today actually have a Windows PC. So if we can provide an application to them in an easy way, that's really what is exciting. It's really something that Jack was speaking about. It's just kind of creating the access to everybody, democratizing this access. So that's extremely exciting. I think we'll be able to do that well.
Well, that's pretty encouraging, and not least of which is because I actually tried to download the ROC on my HP laptop, the one that I did the review of for Arch Linux, to get the Ryzen AI Max Plus up and running with ROCm on Linux. And admittedly, this is Arch and it's bleeding edge, but the bleeding edge experience here is better historically than ROCm has been from the other repositories or from like the other configuration. And so this is meant to be like a bleeding edge dev channel. Maybe this is what AMD is talking about when they're talking about the 2-week ROCm cadence, but I'm starting to see the puzzle pieces come together. The roadmap that they laid out months and years ago is kind of starting to make sense and kind of starting to come true. So that's really exciting from AMD. It's nice to see that at Computex, and this is one of the more coherent experiences and announcements at Computex this year. Literally everything else is who are you and what's your fealty to NVIDIA.